What's up guys, it's the MX Guru back in the workshop, and today I'm going to show you how to install the WP lowering kit on a KTM XPLOR fork. But first I'm going to show you the difference, at least with the 20mm kit. Check it out.
I don't know if you can see this, but the fork on the left has the 20mm kit installed, the bushing and the spring retainer, and the fork on the right is stock length. So you can kind of get an idea of how much stroke, how much of your travel there you're losing. And then total fork height right there. Alright, so let me show you how to put one of these in.
Alright guys, these XPLOR forks are just an open chamber WP fork with the base valve. Very easy to work on. What we're going to do for starters is take our fork cap off, flip our fork upside down, and let the oil drain out for a few minutes. Alright, we've got our oil drained, at least as much as possible. Now we're going to pull down our spring. We're going to put our wrench right here on this nut, our fork cap remover up top, and we're going to take this fork cap off. I believe this is 24mm. I cannot finally have one laying around. I can't find it at the moment, so I'm going to use a crescent wrench. All right, and next I'm going to take this out of the vise. I'm going to put it in my conventional vise. I'm going to put some protection in here so I don't scratch the fork lug, and I'm going to take the bottom bolt out, and that will let the sub inner assembly come out. This, you're going to need a 17mm hex, and I like to break it loose, at least with a breaker bar first. You can expect there to be a bunch of trapped oil that's probably going to come out of here.
Okay guys, now that you have that bottom bolt out, you should be able to completely pull your sub-assembly out of the motorcycle. This is when you're going to do your actual lowering work. Alright guys, this next part is critical. If you do not have any set of aluminum jaws like this, some inserts for a vise where you can clamp down on your damping rod, then you need to order some. These are from Racetech. A bunch of companies make these. I like these Racetech ones because they're small and they have 4 different sizes. This will work fine in a conventional vise as well. I've just got them in this vise because my conventional vise is not mounted. Your vise will have to be mounted far enough off the table to where your assembly can hang down. So you cannot scratch this damping rod right here, so be very gentle with it. Use the correct tools, snug it down, and now we're going to remove this plastic piece right here. Sometimes you'll have to break this loose with a wrench a little bit. I did not have to this one. I did on the other fork. So we're going to go ahead and back this off, and when we back this off, it's going to let the damping rod and the valve assembly fall down through the sub-assembly.
Alright guys, so after I took the plastic piece off, this slid right down through the assembly. That's your setup inside that sub-assembly. This is where we're going to do our swap out. We're going to take our black bushing that came in our kit. I should probably mention now, this is the 20 millimeter WP fork kit. It comes with two of these 20 millimeter WP fork lowering kit. Comes with two of these black bushings and two of these spring seats. It replaces your stock spring seat, which is that. And you can see the difference there. That takes up the extra slack from your spring. So we're going to put this bushing right here, and then we're going to slide this back inside our assembly. Okay, now that we have the bushing up in here where it needs to be sitting, right here somewhere, we're going to go ahead and take off this spring seat and replace it with the shorter spring seat now. And now we're on the reassembly stage, guys. Go ahead and put this piece back on, thread it back on. I like to snug it up just a tiny bit. Okay, we did have a plastic like spring seat slash preload washer that was sitting on this spring seat. So go ahead and put it back on. And yeah, now we're ready to put our assembly back in the fork. Now once we get the assembly in there, you can kind of twist it right here and you'll be able to kind of feel it. You can look up in here and see if it's bottomed out where it needs to be. Now this is where a lot of newbies will mess up. You have to make sure that this assembly the threads are all the way down in here. There's a specific shape. It has to fit down through there. So if it doesn't, you just need to reach your finger up in there and kind of twist it until it falls all the way down. And now we can put our base valve back into place. I'm using an impact here. If you're a noob, you need to just take your time, use a ratchet till you get a feel for this stuff. All right, now the fork is back together. So now we can just put the spring in, measure our fork. Now we can put the spring in, put the oil in. It's 600 milliliters, I think, and put the top cap on, put this thing back together and get it back on the bike, guys. So I hope that helps some of you guys out. It's really not a crazy big job to install this 20 millimeter fork kit, 20 millimeter fork lowering kit on these XPLOR forks. So we're also going to do a video on installing the 20 millimeter lowering spacer on the shock. Shock can be a little more intimidating if you don't have nitrogen and a few special tools at home. I'm going to show you how to do it anyway in another video. So thanks for watching. Let's put this fork back together and get it back on the bike.